What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? I'm doing a real-time job and I'm going to show you all how to go from a 13 by 19 design and make it an all over. So I know we typically do the other way around, and this is a good opportunity to show you the other way. So let's say, for instance, you have your 13 by 19 design like we do in front of us, and I'm just going to give a disclaimer that the image quality that we have right now for the photo is going to be greatly diminished when we blow it up. So we have to be aware that it's just going to be a low quality photo. So that is something that I want to give a disclaimer on off the bat. Try to use your highest quality images when you're doing especially all over prints. But in this situation, this is what we have. This is what we're going to work from. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and grab my free template, and you all should have this one online if you haven't already downloaded it. And I have too many files popping up right now, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that one up. So this template goes from an adult small all the way up to a 3XL. And it gives you a print safe area for all of those sizes shirts, so that you only have to design one time for the smallest shirt. And this same template will also work for up to a 3X. All right, so in this case, this is the one with the bonus art. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all these layers because this thing is going to be huge, so you won't see all of this stuff in there. And let me go ahead and save this as. This is going to be the all over version. So its name for me is the same name as the 13 by 19 version. I just put all over in front of it, so I will know the difference in the two. All right, and I'm just going to clean this up and just get rid of everything except for there's a background layer. There is my layer that says turn off for printing, and there's my layer that says keep on for printing. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and also I'm going to lock this layer too, so that these two don't shift around while I'm doing all my moving. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take everything, because when I'm designing my all over for my 13 by 19, I take everything and put it in a group. So if you don't have that as a group, I'm going to delete the group just to show you what it looks like. It won't let me delete the group. Something in here is locked. And if you have something locked, it won't let you delete. Do I have anything locked in here? I'm just looking really quickly. I don't see anything locked. So I'm going to take this entire group, use my move tool, and pick it up, drag it, and drop it right there. Just drop it like it's hot, right there in the middle. And you'll see that it is within the limits of my text and photo save area, but I'm going to make it a little bigger. And I'm still going to try to keep all of my text in this photo save area. So Control T. And I'm just going to drag that, make it a little larger. Make sure my text is still in my text and photo save area. I might have to zoom out a little bit. So I'm hitting Control minus to zoom out a little. My text is fitting perfect in my text safe area. So I'm hitting enter right now just to lock in this transformation. It's going to take a little minute for it to transform that. And from here, the 13 by 19 templates that you use from NA Lab, they're going to have these layer masks on them. So I'm just kind of truncating some of these groups so you can see what it looks like. But this right here is a layer mask on the background. You can right click and disable it. And you'll see all of these goodies outside of here. And I'm going to show you some of my best practices for how I transform something into an all over. So I have my kind of marble down here. Now I have to start shifting stuff. So this brought in all my layers, and I can edit these layers independently now. I'm going to do Control T. Just kind of transform these bottom layers. And same thing here with the sky. It doesn't reach quite as big as I want it to reach. So we're going to adjust that a little bit. There we go. And then my image out here, what I'm going to do, instead of trying to stretch my chain image, I like where it is, and I like how much of it falls onto even the smallest shirt. If I make this chain image bigger, then it may show up on a 3X, but they might not show up on the smalls. So all I'm going to do is come right here to my background layer. I'm going to add a layer right on top of this. So add a new layer, and I'm going to disable this layer mask just for right now. Okay, and I'm just going to fill this area in over here with black. So if I want to choose the exact same black, I'm going to grab my paintbrush, hold down Alt and click, and I chose that black right there. And I want to be on my new layer I just created, and I'm just going to paint. I didn't choose my black. Alt and click, and see how it changed to that black. And I'm just going to paint over it right there. That's the simplest thing to do, just to kind of fill in some areas where you need a little bleed area for the image. And then of course my image is cut off a little bit down here, and I have something for that. I like to just use layer masks that I can just fade off. So I'm going to add a new layer mask, and I'm just going to fade off the chains. So we'll grab the gradient tool, and this is going foreground to transparent. And my foreground is white right now. So if I want it to be black to transparent, I'm going to grab that. Now, you may not end up doing all of these extra steps, because the most thing you're probably worried about is, hey, can I just bring this in and fill in the outside? You might just fill in the outside with a little color, with a little gradient. But I'm giving you a little bit extra here, showing you how to even take some of these different elements and make them work. So right now, I have a layer mask on here that's only letting the gold show through. So I'm going to delete that layer mask, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So now this blue is everywhere. I want to make this blue go over this entire group right here. So I'm going to drag it above the group. Let's get rid of this layer mask, because we're going to create a new one. And I want all this gold to show through from the chains here. So I'm going to turn off my blue for a moment. Let's grab my magic wand tool. And I want to make sure that I don't have contiguous selected. So contiguous is that you're only going to select the things that are touching that are light colors. I have contiguous deselected, because when I click on this black, because we're replacing all the black with blue, I want it to select all the black, including the black that's in the zigzags here, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I also want to add in this outside out here, because I want that to turn blue too. So I'm going to grab my rectangular marquee, and I'm going to hold down Shift, or we can make sure that we have the addition selection up there. I let my mouse go too soon. I'm just adding to that. So then that way, all of this excess outside meat here is going to be selected too. So it's all, everything outside of that gold selection is going to get that blue treatment, because we're changing the background. Instead of black, it's going to have blue. All right, so all that's selected. So now when I come up here to my blue color fill layer, if I turn it on, everything gets that blue overlay. But now when I choose a new layer mask, everything gets the blue treatment except for the gold. So now the gold kind of pops. All right, and I'm going to drag this into my group too, because I want for my marble not to have that blue treatment. Although it looks kind of cool. Might want to keep it like that. But I'll show you the alternative to that is bring it outside of that group. And make sure that this blue only applies to the gold chain layer. So we're going to create a clipping mask. And see how it only clipped to that? And I don't even need this extra. Yeah, I don't need that extra now. So I have that blue only applying to the top up here. Then I have my black kind of grounding it down here to tie in with the black from the stairs. But if you don't want the black to tie in like that, then go ahead and allow the blue to cover this entire background area. Okay, and that way it's kind of colored that marble too. I think right now we have it on a blend mode of lighten. All right, so I'm going to turn that off. I want it to only affect the chains. So I'm going to right click and create a clipping mask. So there we have it. All right, so this is pretty much about ready for all over printing. The difference between taking a 13 by 19 to all over is that you just want to be able to extend whatever your outside design is, right? So if I didn't have all these chains and stuff saved to the outside, then the most I can probably do let's say I didn't have all of this excess data back here, I would just make me a new layer. I would grab either a brush or I would play with the gradient, and I just make a big brush, big old brush. And I would say, you know what, I'm going to pick up that blue color because that's where it's stopping somewhere. And if I had a little 13 by 19 design, I'm just going to kind of make the most of it. If I don't have data out here, then I'm just going to fade into the design. And that's the way most of you are probably going to have to do it if you don't have pixels and image that extends beyond your 13 by 19. Most of the time, even if you get the 13 by 19 design that I have developed from an all over design, I usually try to keep that data in there for y'all. So it's a little secret that if you expand it and make it bigger than the 13 by 19 palette, you will see, or not palette, but the artboard, you will see that there's usually some extra data back there. Okay, but this is one of my little cheat ways to, when somebody sends me something and it's not really the right orientation or ratio for all overs, I just kind of fade off until it looks like everything's gonna fit on there and it's gonna be all right. So that's one option there. But this one we have all the data, so we're good to go. Okay, so Nikki, let me know. I see you in the comments now. So we have black at the bottom and then we have the blue at the top. If you want to go back to the black, you can always just turn off the blue layer. You see that? It's just a color layer. And the blend mode for this color layer is lighten. So depending on what color you have behind it, you're going to have to play with your blend mode. Sometimes you'll do hue, saturation, or color, or hue or color. But because this is black, you have to do something that takes on the lighter color. So sometimes you use screen, lighten, overlay. I use that a lot when I'm taking a color and laying it over something that may be gray. And then it takes on that color. But for what we're working on here, I think the lighting works really well. And it plays off of those clouds really well too. You see that? And since this is an all over, I'm kind of considering that the clouds under the armpits aren't really going to show much. So maybe because I'm no longer doing a 13 by 19 design, I can play with expanding these clouds and make them a little bit taller. And I'm holding down shift so I can shift it disproportionately. But now I kind of get a little more of those clouds in there, a little more of that beam of light coming from it. And it makes it a little more substantial with the skyline there. Okay, so for this one, you want to do the top black and the blue bottom. Now, I will tell you this, with the blue bottom, it is recoloring. So I'm going to take the blue, I'm going to alt click and drag it and pull that down to the bottom. And lighten doesn't really work here because you see that gold is turning magenta. So I'm going to choose a different blend mode. And I'll probably choose color. And we lose that gold doing it that way. Let's see, what else can we do? Soft light is letting the gold show through, but is making some of the areas a little more magenta. Let's see. I'm trying to find a blend mode that's preserving some of that yellow without having to do any really difficult techniques. I think so far soft light was the only one that let a little bit of color through but preserved some of the gold. But it's not the right color because it's making it darker than it really is. So for this one, I would have to do hue in order to keep the gold and then bring the gold back through. So the way that I would do that is, let's go to select, and we're gonna go with a color range. And I'm gonna select that gold. Do the plus sign there. And I'm just selecting the various little places where the gold is, so that we get that veining. Right. And then I'm going to duplicate this layer. And create a layer mask where just that gold stays on top. Then that way, when I do my color fill down here, I kind of keep my gold on top and then I colored the blue underneath it. Now those are more advanced techniques. I don't expect y'all to be doing all that right off the bat. It's just when somebody asks me to do something, I don't mind sharing with y'all the steps to doing that, but it's not always beginner friendly. Okay, so if you want it black at the top, then I would just turn off the blue at the top, let it stay black up here, let the clouds be blue, and now you have blue marble at the bottom as well with the gold accents. So let me know if you like it like that. And just as well, this video is going to be up here. So if you need to show it one way and then say, you want to show your customer a different way. So maybe you want to, kind of take the blue on and off and say, hey, do you like it better with the black at the top and bottom or the blue at the bottom? I'm just telling you from experience, it's not the best idea to give your customer a whole bunch of options, and then and then you got to try to figure out how to recreate the option that you showed them. So no black. So let's go ahead and put the blue back at the top, and there we have it. Now, if I want to see how this is going to print, then all I'm going to do is the layer that says turn off for printing. I'm just going to turn it off. And where's my other layer? I must have dragged all this on top of it. Here it goes. That's my layer that I keep on for printing. And like I said, if you didn't have all this excess stuff, you could just kind of make it whatever it needs to be on the outside. But we have it, so we don't need this layer. Okay, so I'm just making sure everything works good and is clean here. I see a little bit, what is here? My hue saturation. Oh, this is my hue saturation for everything. Then I want my blue up here, but for some reason, I'm thinking it's not changing it up there. Let me go to my layer mask, and I'm going to add black. Yeah, just to see what happens. And now I'm going to reverse it, turn it to white, and see. There it goes. I just got to stay clear of my gold over there. I'm trying to let this turn back to that blue. So let me get in there. And Nicole, I don't know if you're here, or Nikki, I did advise that this is going to come out. I know it was already, you know, a kind of bad resolution image, if that's all we have. I, you know, was just explaining that's what we work with. But I also want to let you know it's even worse when you try to make it the all over. So just be aware of that. It's going to print like it looks on the screen. And I need to do some more videos of, you know, expectations, because sometimes I get art, and when y'all submit art and you're saying that you want it printed as is, I don't think, when you say that you want it printed as is, most of the time we're not even looking at it to see if it needs to be corrected, because we're taking your word for it that it doesn't need to be corrected. But there are some instances where you know, somebody might submit something like this and expect that it's not going to print grainy, and that's just not realistic. So if you zoom into your image, and a matter of fact, there's a feature on here where you can go to view and you can go to print size, and it's going to show you, okay, this is about the print size, so this is what you can expect. If this looks okay to you, then this is most likely, you know, what it's going to look like printed. Excuse me, guys. All right, so it looks good. That was a 13 by 19 to all over. And I have one more to do. So I'm going to save this, and Nikki, I will send this to you. If you wanted to submit this for prints, just keep in mind that I'll show you online where you can go. Just go to Design and Print Services, and make sure you choose this one, the one that goes up to 3x. The 5x one is more expensive, and it's a different template because it's a much bigger template. So you go to the one that's up to 3x, and for right now, you're just going to upload your file. I prefer that it be already merged, and you just send it as a PDF. You can send it as you can save as a PDF, or you can save it as like a JPEG or a PNG. Okay, but if you happen to send me the Photoshop file, you know, if you need edits to it, you can. But here is not where you send files that need editing. Here is where you're sending print ready art. So when it goes in the queue, all we're hitting is print, and then we're going to, we have a schedule. So if you choose a same business day, depending on if you get it in by 10 a.m., that's our cutoff time. That lets us know that we're getting it in that day. Same thing with the next business day, 10 a.m. starts the cutoff time. So if you get it in after 10 o'clock on this day, then it doesn't register as being submitted until 10 a.m. the next day. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about your deadline. And then, of course, 3 to 4 business days is just standard. There's no extra charge for that. But if you need it rushed, please make sure that you pay for the rush fee. And I don't mind if you respond to when you, whenever you purchase the print, if you respond to that email and just say, hey, just making sure that you receive this order, and then whoever's checking the emails can kind of keep an eye on that. Okay. And if you're doing 10 or more of the same print, they're only $11 a piece. So imagine how much time and energy you save if you're trying to do more than 10 shirts with the tile printing method. Okay, and then it has an option here. If you make sure everything is sized up like it needs to be, then you save yourself some money. If you need help resizing your image, then there is a $15 charge for us to have to pull the image, look at it, manipulate it. If it's just a small job, like all we have to do is just make sure the text is in the text safe area because you're not sure how to do that, even though I know I have plenty of videos showing you that, then there is a $15 charge for us to resize the image for you, okay? And if you're going to do that, if you want it resized, go ahead and submit the Photoshop file so that if we do need to move some text over, we have that ability. It's not a merged document. All right, so that's it. Anything else? Y'all make sure y'all check out the ink and the blanks, and all of that will be growing very soon. I actually have a lot of inventory to add here, but we just haven't had the time to to put it up on the website. So I'm going to make the time to do that, just like I'm making the time to do these tutorials. Okay, so for right now, don't forget that we have the sublimation ink. It works for the Eco Tank and the Workforce 7710s and any Epson printer that you can convert that has a CMYK setup. You also have the empty cartridges you can purchase. I always suggest that you have a backup set of empty cartridges. And of course, print head cleaner, which I will be demonstrating a good way to use that, especially if you have really bad clogs and you kind of need it to sit overnight. I have a method for that. And that's it. So let's go back. Let's see if we have any questions or anything. Okay, so this shirt will be an XL. This, and let me turn these layers back on so you can see here. Okay, so, and I'll zoom in because it's blue on blue, so it's going to be a little hard to see. This is your text safe area. As long as everything falls within here, you're not going to be worried about cutting it off. If it's a small or medium, this is your large or extra large, and this is your 2X, 3X. And you have plenty of bleed room, even from a 2X, 3X, okay? So this is going to print, and you'll be able to place a small shirt on this print all the way up to a 3X shirt on this same print. Okay, and that's why I did this, to make it simpler for you all, so you don't have to send me a file for the smalls, a file for the medium, a file for the large, a file for the extra large, etc. All right, so basically you send one file if it's up to a small to a 3X, and then you send another file if it's a 4X or 5X. It's a whole nother template set up for that. All right, so like I said, I'm saving. And let's do the same thing for the next image I have to do. Let me find it. I'm going to go ahead and open the blank template first, just so I can make sure I open the right one. So this is the one that you all see when you download online. It has some merged text, but it's just ideas for placement. So I'm going to get rid of all this stuff here. Delete. And then the next thing that we're going to do is grab our image and pull it in. So for this one, we're done. I want to make sure I save that. Then we're done with this image. Let's save that. I have one. That is a 13 by 19 right now, and we need to develop it to be an all over print. There we go. It popped up. All right. So one of the first things we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to, let's delete the group. And only the group. So if you have a whole bunch of layers and you're trying to bring everything over as a group, I suggest you group it just so you don't have a lot of randomness trying to pull it over. I'm just going to truncate all these so you see what I'm talking about. I'm going to select the top layer and the very bottom layer, and I'm going to do Control G. That means group. Okay, and then I'm going to pull this image over into my all over template. There we go. And once again, I'm going to resize. You'll see how much faster this one goes just because we're not kind of editing some of the design elements. We're just going to keep it simple. And let me zoom out a little bit. I'm doing Control minus to zoom out. And I'm just pulling this to where I can make sure that my important text stays right inside of the text safe area. Excuse me. All right, once I get it to the size I want, I'm going to hit enter. And it may take a little moment to transform. Uh-oh. Let me go ahead and close this file out. All right, so Control T. Let's transform it. I've been running into issues lately with trying to record and do my designing at the same time, especially since I put a 3D design. I think it's 3D Studio Max. It's been eating up some data. So Photoshop has been a bit jealous. What's going on, Photoshop? Why don't you want to do this? So if I have these type of issues, like right now, it's not transforming like I want. I'm going to go ahead and do a file save as, make sure I save this. And I can't remember what I wanted to save it as. Oh, there it is. I got the file name here. I'll save it as the same file name, just put all over in front of it. And very rarely am I designing a 13 by 19 and making it go up to an all over. I'm usually doing it reverse. All right, so now that I have it saved as, let me see if it's going to do what I wanted to do. I see it still disappearing there. I'm just going to shut it down and open Photoshop again. I don't like to play back and forth too much with Photoshop. And it is opening back up. Nikki, the service online is to be printed on paper. We do have a listing to actually press the shirts for you too. That one, I'm uploading all of those listings again just so that it has that timeline feature on it, so that we can better tell when you need us to produce your order. So it's not up just yet, but if you want the shirt pressed for you instead of the just the print being sent to you, is $28 for you all because your artwork is already ready. So artwork's ready, no resizing, no tweaking the art at all. If you are uploading your print ready file, then it is $28 for a single side. Alright, so let's see if this is going to let me do what I need to do now. Oh, it has something to do with a linked object in here. Let me go ahead and find this thing. That's what it is. It's vector smart object. We're going to, instead of relinking it, I'm going to make sure it's embedded. That's why I don't like that cloud, because this is what causes issues. Honestly, I can just rasterize that layer. I need to go ahead and just rasterize all of these. Okay. There was another one inside of the number 6. So let me rasterize that one as well. And all it is my little, I put a little honeycomb design in there to give it a little visual interest. Let's see if that fixes our problem. Control T. And it looks like that might have fixed it. I want to make sure my little bullets don't hang off the shirt too much, or the darts. There we go. That's what it was. Those cloud links. So if you can avoid it, don't let it link your stuff to the cloud. Just go ahead and embed all of your images, even your smart objects. And like I said, I'm going to just turn it into the all over. All I have to do is right click, disable the layer mask that I have for a lot of these grunge masks. I'm going to right click on the background, disable the layer mask, and it's still there. So if I ever want to print it as a 13 by 19 in the future, I have that option. And anything else? I think that's it. And for this link here, I have a couple of options. I could either increase the size of it, or I can kind of fade it off. And I think I'm just going to fade it off. Let's see how that looks. And instead of fading it off with the brush, I'm going to use a gradient tool. And I'm going to make sure that black is in the foreground, so it's going to fade from black to transparent. And then I'm just going to go from the inside meat on up. Oh, it's got an effect on it. So let me see what that effect is. Excuse me. What is my effect? Oh, it's got a drop shadow. So the shadow is still showing even though I'm fading the image off. So if I want to keep my shadow, which I do, I want to keep that shadow because that's what kind of makes it look like it's popping off the shirt a little bit. Then instead of putting the layer mask officially on the chain link there, I'm going to delete that layer mask. I'm going to put it in a group. Then on that folder, I'm going to create a layer mask. That way it fades off my shadow as well as my image there. I'm just holding down shift when I pull the gradient so that it fades just perfect. And I'm just showing you if I wanted it to be larger, I have the option to make it larger too. I think I kind of like it like that. And then it's faded off, so if you ever want to bring it back in, you absolutely can. So Control 0, let's zoom in. And we just went from a 13 by 19 to an all over design. Just like that. And that's it. You have any questions? Now this, there is already a tutorial for this type of design as far as changing out the design elements here and changing out the photo and the colors. All I did was use kind of like the Nerf font, and the name of this font is Creely It BT. And I think that means it is for italics, bold. So this font is pretty similar to the Nerf font. So that's why this was chosen. But it's just in a different colorway and has some of the little Nerf guns that would go with that theme. So every time y'all ask me to make a variation of a theme, I'm going to make it a whole new template, okay? Because sometimes it really is down to crunch time and you need to be able to take something that you saw, make that variation as quickly as possible and get it to your client. Or print for yourself, because a lot of times we're last minute printing our own stuff. So these templates are based on one that we did in the past, but it will already have these updates to them. Okay, so again, that was 13 by 19 to all over. Y'all ask me about that frequently, and I think I've done some videos on it, but whenever I have to do it live, and I have a live video to do anyway, then I don't mind showing you what I have to do for that. All right, y'all have any questions or comments, things you need to see? And this opacity is down to like 18%. Yeah. Let's make sure I save that. All right, loves, if that's it, then I'm going to go ahead and close out this one so I can send Nikki her file. And let's see, what time is it? I think I'm going to be back in just a minute to do one of the tutorials. We're going to go ahead and do the different world one. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do the different world one because that one is ready to be uploaded. And we'll have at least these two new ones before the template sale, which is Saturday. I haven't decided what time I'm gonna start it on Saturday because I don't have to start it till 11 p.m. on Saturday because it's only a 24-hour flash sale that goes from 11 p.m. Saturday to 11 p.m. Sunday. But I may just be on the lookout in the Innate Creatives Facebook group because I will announce, like, as soon as I make it available, I'll announce it and you'll see it and you'll be able to go ahead and get on there early and not have to deal with the traffic on the website. All right, loves. As always, I thank y'all for participating and hanging in there and supporting throughout the recent growing pains of me not being able to be available. But I really, 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 truly appreciate you all. Truly appreciate your support, your encouragement, and also just your growth. Like, your growth is speaking for itself, making me proud as is. Whether you are using templates or not, I see what you're doing and I see the improvements you're making for yourselves and for your businesses, and I'm extremely proud. I am extremely proud. So I'll be checking in a little bit more once I get the opportunity to settle in. But for now, I just want to thank y'all for being patient with me and for working with Erica. She's amazing. She's been able to kind of be there when I have to be ghost. So I want you all to make sure that you're very familiar with Erica and know who she is. Erica Kane in the Innate Creatives Facebook group. She's able to help you a lot with the with any questions and things that you may have. And the group itself is very helpful. We have some folks that started off not knowing much about Photoshop at all, and now they can chime in and answer questions about what menu option you should be looking for, how to correct some issues. They are going in and they're doing the things. Okay. All right. So let me get a little break. I'll say 9:30. Let's reconvene. I'll do a template edit for the different world one. And then that way, if y'all have any questions about it, I'm going to check to see in the group if anyone submitted any photos. So if you didn't, hint, here's an opportunity to go to the Innate Creatives Facebook group and go ahead and let me see if y'all done drop some photos or not. So, oops, I went to not the Facebook page. I went to the website. Let's go to Facebook. Let's see what y'all dropped me. Hopefully this connection can handle us being on Facebook while we're recording. Let's see. Ooh, what is that? Go ahead, River. Okay, so I get distracted when I come here all the time. Look at Candace. Okay. So yeah, I get, oh my gosh. Corey, that is too cute. Okay, so y'all have submitted. I'm doing some templates right now. So I usually take time to see what images you all have dropped, and then I will choose an image to change out the template. If I choose your image to change out the template and do the live tutorial, then you get that template for free. Okay, so yeah, so I'm about to make my decision. Right now, I don't think I can deny this. I don't think I can deny this, Corey. I don't know if you're here right now, but this is way too cute. Oh, look at them big old eyes. Yeah, this will work. And it doesn't have to say Bebe's Kids, so whatever you want it to say. It just says Pee-wee. I love it. Okay, so if we just happen to have 3 here, yeah. So I'm gonna have to. It's always hard to choose who I'm gonna use for the templates. Y'all give me so many great designs. I promise. I really love y'all. Oh my gosh. So the other thing is, so let's say for instance you post an image and I don't use it for that particular template. I'm always making templates. Excuse me, and doing variations for designs. So you may not see it on this template, but like maybe we'll do a Minnie Mouse inspired design for this one if I don't choose this one for the Bebe's Kids design. So definitely, oh my gosh, y'all are killing it with these gorgeous photos. She says she has the best Bebe's Kids ever. I believe that. I love this, y'all. I don't know what to do. There's too many good ones. So I'm going to choose them off screen. So I have time to save. I'm going to save all of these photos. And hopefully I have this folder that whenever we create templates, I just have something to pull from. And I can do on the fly template edits by using y'all's beautiful images as inspiration. Okay, so, and the ones, I just uploaded some new ones, so let me know, or let Erica know, don't let me know, Lord, please don't let me know, because my inbox stay untapped. Let's go to the home page so y'all can tell me. So anyone, and I think Erica told me one person so far that I know for a fact is their template. So if I used your image for the tutorial and therefore for the template, then you get to put that template in your cart, whether you want the all over version or the 13 by 19. So for instance, this is an all over version of the field in the field of horses be a unicorn, and this is the 13 by 19 version. It's pretty much the same thing. What I did was I showed you on the video how I made it an all over, or how I made it a 13 by 19 from an all over. So if you print only 13 by 19s, then don't get the all over prints because it's just going to weigh down your system. If you do at some point in time, or maybe even now you're already doing all overs, then yeah, maybe worth it to get the all over and then reduce it down to a 13 by 19. Okay, that way you're not have to buy the file twice. So yes, this one, the girlfriends one, I know I recently put that one up, and you have the version you can buy with the cartoons, or without the cartoons. If you really want the cartoons, there's a $15 charge on there that it will come with the cartoons on the file. If you don't care for the cartoons, cool. It's just going to be a regular price template, a $20 template. Okay. Same thing. I have a couple of them with the cartoons, and you'll see the Bebe's Kids one. There's going to be a cartoon version and a no cartoon version. If you just like the look of it and you don't care about the cartoon characters, then don't buy the cartoon version if you don't need those cartoons. Okay, so you have that option. Let me show you what that looks like. So if I go to this one, or if I go to the other one, it's going to give me that option. You see where it says no cartoons, and it says with cartoons. So I just wanted to make that clear because I get that question every so often. And once you buy the one without cartoons, you can't just come back and say, oh, well, now I want to upgrade to the one with cartoons because it costs me more work. So if you like the cartoons, go ahead and order the one with the cartoons. Okay. And when it's on sale, the regular version will be on sale. The Photoshop one with the cartoon is still going to be $15 more. That part doesn't, the cartoon part doesn't go on sale. Only the template itself. Okay. And as you can see, sometimes you all ask me how to edit the file. There's a good old video right here that takes you to this marvelous YouTube-ish. And there I am with my country voice talking, telling you all how to edit that template. And I typically will not even put out a template until I've made a video for it. That's why I'm sitting on a lot of templates right now because I need to get off my behind and record more tutorials. So I don't like to put out a template without a tutorial because I want you all to know the ins and outs of how to change that particular design. Okay. So it's there. If you ever need to know how to download, that's there. So I teach you all how to download from the website because sometimes it can be a little confusing because you think it's loading or downloading and it's not. Google is just playing tricks on you and doing this little spinning dance in the middle of your screen, and then you think that, you know, your file's not downloading. So I think that's it. Let me know if y'all have any other questions because I was trying to get on out of here for this session so that I can come back with the template edit for the different world. Okay. And so now it's gonna be a little bit later because I done talked a little bit more and I have to choose my picture. Oh, I don't know. I may stay up and do Bebe's Kids tonight too because now I'm really inspired. We'll see how much steam I have left at the end of different world. Okay. And y'all are the best. I appreciate it. All right, so we'll go ahead and get offline for right now. So I'll say meet me back in maybe like 20 minutes. I say 20 minutes, but so let me not just say 20 minutes. Let me say 9:45. So I'll give you a time, 9:45. If you're still up, if it's not too late where you are on a school night, then we'll do at least one template edit tonight. Okay. All right, loves. I'll check y'all in a little bit. Bye. Erica beat me to it.